What if I told you there's a way to make your action camera feel more like a classic point and shoot? The Insta360 Xplorer Grip Kit snaps onto the Ace Pro 2 using a sturdy metal utility frame and instantly changes how you handle the camera. You get a comfortable hand grip, a Leica-inspired shutter button, as well as those Leica looks in the camera itself, 3 accessory mounts, and a wrist strap for extra security. Details that actually make a difference when you're shooting on the move. But does this all mean you can finally ditch your tripod for good? Whether you're weaving through a crowded street or scrambling up a rocky trail, the promise here is clear. Ditch the handle of compact hand grip tripods and still get stable cinematic footage. The Xplorer Grip Kit is Insta360's answer to that challenge, but can it truly step up for those small, trusty tripod hand grips when it counts? Now, one frustration with standard hand grips is the lack of dedicated shutter controls or accessory mounts, which limits your setup options. The Xplorer Grip Kit addresses this with 3 mounting points: a 1/4 inch screw, a quick release, and a cold shoe, so you can attach lights, mics, or other gear without extra hassle. Plus, the built-in Leica-inspired shutter button and wrist strap makes it feel more like a traditional camera, giving you better control and security. Now, at the heart of the kit is Insta360's FlowState stabilization, a signature feature designed to digitally smooth out shakes and jitters. Now, paired with this ergonomic handle, this tech helps you get steadier shots whilst moving. Now, while compact tripods will still give you the best results for static shots, especially for long exposures and time lapses, the Grip Kit comes surprisingly close for dynamic on-the-go filming. Now, the trade-off between portability and ultimate stability is smaller than ever, making this kit a strong option for creators on the move. And it's kind of fun to have this sleeker looking setup. That's what I've experienced anyway. And stability is just one part of the equation. Shooting for hours can take a toll, not just on your energy, but also on your hands. So does the Xplorer Grip Kit actually make long shoots more comfortable? Comfort in the field often comes down to the details, and the Xplorer Grip Kit leans into this with some smart design choices. Now, other reviewers have pointed out the old school feel of the extended shutter button, which sits right above your thumb where that naturally rests, and it's easy to trigger with your index finger. Now, I should note that I'm right-handed, and my feeling is that it's very much set up for this. Now, the button isn't just easier to reach, it's more comfortable to press, especially during long shoots, and it gives you that tactile feedback missing from most action cameras. Now, paired with the wrist strap, which adds a layer of security for one-handed shooting or quick moves, you get a setup that's clearly built for sessions that last more than just a few minutes. The grip itself is shaped to fit your hand better than the bare Ace Pro 2, reducing the strain that comes from pinching a tiny camera body for hours. For users with smaller hands, it's a perfect fit, I think, and several have commented on how it lets them focus on shooting instead of constantly readjusting their grip. Still, it's worth noting that if you have larger hands, the handle might feel a little bit cramped after a while. Now, here's another practical touch. The metal frame doesn't get in the way of the camera's ports or buttons. You can still access the USB-C port and SD card slot without removing the grip, which means you don't have to interrupt your workflow to swap batteries or cards. Now, that's a small but appreciated convenience, especially when you're on the move and you don't want to fumble with extra gear. Now, of course, adding the grip does increase overall weight. Some have even described the setup as hefty when paired with the already solid Ace Pro 2. If you're after the lightest possible setup for quick snapshots, this might feel like overkill. But for more involved shoots, the added bulk, I think, is offset by the flexibility of 3 accessory mounts, including a cold shoe with a decorative cap when it's not in use. And yeah, like I said, you can attach a mic or a light without cluttering your kit. Now, all these details come together to make shooting not just easier, but I think a genuinely more enjoyable experience for the right user. And as we look at the big picture, it's clear the Xplorer Grip Kit isn't just a minor upgrade. It's a tool that could change how you approach shooting with the Ace Pro 2. But let me just add something here. Insta360's claim that this can up your street photography game. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea here. I don't think that Insta360's definition of street photography really matches what street photographers mean when they talk about street photography. No, I think you need a different kind of camera for that kind of thing, like something from the Fujifilm X100 series or the Ricoh GR3. But having said that, you can still get some fun street style shots and interesting photos using this setup, with playing around with the Leica style and maybe some motion blur exposure effects too. And if you select to produce a RAW file too, you can get the best flexibility to work on your photos in post-production. So yeah, not really street photography, but interesting nonetheless. And it can give you that point and shoot camera feel for sure. The Xplorer Grip Kit transforms how you can shoot with your Ace Pro 2 by adding comfort, stability, and portability in a complete package. Its ergonomic grip, extended shutter button, and wrist strap makes long sessions easier and gives you more control, which is especially useful for street-style vloggers, travel shooters, and run-and-gun creators who need to stay light on their feet. The grip keeps the camera's ports accessible so you can swap batteries or cards on the fly, and at around $85, the Xplorer Grip is a modest investment and could well be worth your cash. Let me know in the comments how you would use the Xplorer Kit, and check out this video on how to tweak your Ace Pro 2 settings for the best results. See you there.